Every once in a while, if you drive a car, you reach a point where you reach a crossroads. There are major directions to go, which way to go. There's a fork in the road. And you have to make a decision to go right, to go left, to go forward, to go back, to make a U-turn. Tonight, I came to this area, Hager's town, Haggard, to hope that everyone here tonight will make a decision. 1969, I was 19 years old. So now you figure out how old I am. And I decided, as a young teenager, to join a movement that was called the Nation of Islam. You heard about the group. I was a Christian. And the reason that I was a Christian is that my mother was a Christian, and my mother made me go to church. My mother made my brother go to church. And I was a Christian, a Baptist, because my mother was a Baptist and my mother made me go to church. You're not Christians. You're Muslims. Do you go to the masjid because your mother and father make you go to the masjid? Did you go to this camp because your mother and father made you to go to camp? Or did you go to the camp because you decided that you wanted to go? Tonight I'm going to ask you to make a decision. You're at a crossroads. Before I proceed, let me pause and ask you a question. Hajj, I want to talk straight with the youth tonight. Maybe they can't take it. Maybe it's too much. If you would rather for me to give a nice, soothing sermon on how to make wudu, I can do that. Or I can talk straight with you. Which would you prefer? In talking straight, I may say some things that may hurt your feelings. Do you mind? You still want me to talk straight? Brothers and sisters, there is nobody in this auditorium tonight that's perfect. Let us first agree to that. From the speaker, from the counselors, organizers, none of them are perfect, none of them are straight. Your parents are not perfect, your parents make mistakes, your parents commit sin. Let us admit that. But tonight, I want you to make a decision. I made a decision at the age of 19 that I wanted to join the so-called Nation of Islam, and I wanted to practice that religion, different from the religion of my mother and father. So me joining that movement had nothing to do with my mother and father. Hudra's a Muslim. She said, why is he doing that to me? I know. But she's a Muslim because her mother and father are Muslim. Nisa, Muslim because mother and father Muslim. And when the father and the mother was in the church, they grabbed the children and took them to church. Is that right, Hajj? Wherever the mother and fathers were, that's where they took their children. Everywhere the mother and father went, they took their children because they believed that that was the right way. But somewhere along the line, Hajj decided to become Muslim. Somewhere along the line, your mother and father decided to become Muslim, and they grabbed you. And all of a sudden now, they started dressing you. You ever notice? Mothers know this. How many mothers in the audience? You ever notice mothers? Mothers are different from dads. She begins to dress the children. And she dresses the child and says, oh, isn't that nice? And she puts these clothing on the children, but something happens. The child starts growing up. And then the mother puts an outfit on the child, and the child said, no, I don't want that one. I don't like that. I don't want to dress like that. Well, when you were growing up, your mother said, put on the khimar. And you put on the khimar because you wanted to obey your mother. Your mother said, this is the way Muslims are supposed to dress, and you started dressing that way. Your father decided to take you to the masjid, and you went to the masjid because your father said you should go to the masjid. Your mother said you should go to the masjid. But somewhere along the line, you had to make a decision. And no matter how much your mother and father said to you, sooner or later, you went away by yourself. You went to school, you went to high school, you went to college, and you started dressing the way you wanted to dress, and you started acting the way you wanted to act. So tonight, I want you to make a decision in my conclusion. And this is the decision I want you to make.